Hello, everyone. Hope you guys can all hear me. Excuse me, I was just eating something. Well, hello to you, wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Whichever way. I see Gail K is here. Lexi McCormack Parker. Hi to you. Adrienne is here. Loads of people here. Julie M is here. And so hi to all of you. Lots of people here, actually, and it's wonderful to see 15 on board already. Twaina Bernard is here. And anyway, right, Julie M asks, what is Hydesville Day? Now, then, in the thumbnail, you've seen a very old picture, black and white picture of three ladies. And those ladies are the Fox sisters. That's Kate, Margaret, and Leah Fox. And they are really responsible for the beginning of modern spiritualism. And before I launch into tonight's readings, I just want to kind of pay homage to them a bit. And hi, Erin O'Nugent, by the way. So, right, this was March the 31st, 1848, when this happened. It began in 1847. But I'll explain what happened. These sisters were quite little girls at the time, you know, and they could hear this knocking on the wall or somewhere in the house in Hydesville in New York State. And they wondered what it was, and they tried to communicate with it, kind of one knock for yes and two knocks for no. And they started communicating back and forth, asking this person questions. And they nicknamed him Mr. Splitfoot because they didn't know who it was. And they were able to find out through knocking that this character, Mr. Splitfoot, was a local man who'd been wrongly accused of something, and he'd been killed, and he'd been buried in the cellar. Now, many years later, the cellar was dug up, and they didn't actually find him. But many years after that, they moved the whole house to a spiritualist museum, and they found this man's body buried in the side wall of the cellar. And, you know, so that's why they couldn't find him in the first place. But anyway, they became quite well known in the local area, and local people wanting to communicate with loved ones on the other side, if at all possible, would come round, and they would gather round in that little house in Hydesville. And 31st of March, 1848 was the occasion of the first sort of official gathering where they'd kind of invited people deliberately and got people to go there. And it's really the beginning of modern spiritualism, because when we do this kind of thing in spiritualist churches, we ask people to just say yes or no, and it kind of makes the evidence more solid, really, because that's how mediums come up with stuff that they couldn't possibly have known. So we know really that spiritualism is on record as going back to ancient Egypt, and I'm sure it was around long before that as well, but it's on record from ancient Egypt. But modern spiritualism started on this day in 1848. So this is essentially the nearest thing we've got to Christmas in the spiritualist movement. Ta-da. So big respect to the Fox sisters. Look it up online, guys. It's a fascinating tale. At one time or another, they all admitted that they were faking it, but that was because they were under immense pressure to do so. And actually, decades after they admitted they were faking it, they were still going round giving demonstrations and actually proving the existence of the afterlife and communicating with people in it. And I'm sure we all know what it's like, actually, whether you're a practicing psychic like sort of I am, and many of us are, or whether you're just someone who believes in it, you'll be surrounded by people who really want you to get you to say that it isn't a real thing, that it's fake on some level. And you know it isn't fake, but you also know there's not much point in trying to convince anybody that it isn't fake. And that's the case, you know, to this day, unfortunately. And that's what the Fox sisters went through. But very amazing ladies, and they started off this very amazing spiritualist movement. So for a bit of a change tonight, in honor of them and in honor of that, and in honor of everything that's going on, I've got my fluorite crystal ball. I'm going to do some crystal ball readings as we go. Anyway, Beverly Spencer is here. Kat May is here. Nice to see you guys. I'm just having a quick scroll up. Do excuse me if there's anyone I leave out. Joe Mayhew is here. Lynn Wilson is here. Gail K. Loads of people. Philip Corrigan. Hello, Philip. Nice to see you with us. And him and his guides are sending healing out tonight to anyone who needs it. And that is wonderful. You know, that is always a part of any spiritualist church service, actually. So there we go. Looks like a lively one tonight. Looks like it's all happening. Many thanks to any new subscribers, and many thanks to everyone who's ever subscribed, actually, because I seriously appreciate it. But big thanks to all the new subscribers. I've been getting around a bit. I was on Danny Shay's channel, Bathrobe Tarot, week before last, and then yesterday I did a little kind of story, a little ghost story actually, to camera on Celtic Tarot Sheila, and I enjoyed doing that, and I'm sure I've made some new friends since then. April Evans, hi to you, by the way, and Donna is here too. Nice to see you. So great stuff. Okay, well, let's launch. Sharon Lee, hi to you. Let's launch into something. Anyone put any questions yet? Adrienne put her questions up top. Let's have a look at those then. If I can find them. This is always the question. Can I find them? Sometimes retail production environment. That's not a question exactly, is it? I don't know if I can find them. Okay. I don't want to spend too long scrolling because it makes this a really dull video for people to watch. Oh, here we go. Right, here we go. I found Adrienne's question. Let's have a look at that then. Twig Brother Andy, hello. Question, is my third eye now fully open? And am I meeting my divine and karmic soul counterpart? Right, needs a bit of fine-tuning, Adrienne, but I mean, that's not your fault. That's what happens when you get your third eye open. It needs some fine-tuning. That's the same for all of us. And even actually, if you've had your third eye open for donkey's years, it still needs fine-tuning all the time because it is a very delicate thing. I'm shuffling, and the Nine of Pentacles has fallen out. So you're very, very nearly there, Adrienne. You really are. I'm getting the feeling, though, just because it's part of the meaning of this card, that something has got left behind along the way. So let's turn to the crystal ball, actually, and see what the crystal ball has to say about this. I'm just going to shoot down to the bottom of the screen so I can see the comments as they're coming in, which is great stuff. So, crystal ball, what's going on with Adrienne? Okay, right, you had a real blinding flash of inspiration, Adrienne, and this is how you kind of come to think your third eye is really open, and you're right, it absolutely is. I'm going to say, yes, it is actually fully open, but there are some things kind of clouding your vision. They're only small things, okay? And there's nothing serious coming up here. But just keep working on it, okay? When you talk about your karmic soul counterpart, now that's kind of another matter because that brings different energies in to mix with your energies. And that is going to take a little bit more time. But it is actually happening, Adrienne. It is actually happening. And I'm just trying to sort of read in my crystal ball here what's going on there. Okay, right, just basically although your third eye is open, there are other parts of your consciousness which are open, but which aren't open quite as much, okay? But just keep working on it, okay? What we got, very cool. It happened about 4 weeks ago after I did an eye-opening meditation. Great. Well, it worked, Adrienne. It really worked. And I can think back to a time more than 4 weeks ago when you were communicating with me in a way that made it very obvious, and still does, that you are actually connected to spirit, you know, and you're connected to the energy. And that's what really matters, you know. If there's any third eye problems, they're going to start healing once you've really got that connection. And in all the years I've been working, I've often kind of been asked by people, you know, am I in the zone or something like that? And a lady once actually emailed me for a reading saying, you know, I'm not connected at all, you know, can you help me? And I knew she was connected because at the exact moment that email came, I was sitting on the floor cross-legged asking my spirit guides, please, can you send people to me? I can't do this work unless people actually come in and ask questions. So she most definitely was connected, and she went on to just to deepen that connection, you know, to make it deeper. We can always deepen it, and we can always go further. You know, it doesn't matter how well we're doing with this whole thing. Lynn Wilson, can you see Andy? Says it started streaming 9 minutes ago. Oh, hope people can hear me. That's strange. Well, I'm on the screen and it says here I'm streaming. I've got the thing saying end broadcast, so that means the broadcast must have started. Okay. Well, Adrienne can hear me anyway, because she says, thanks, Andy. I walk around feeling so much more now. Yeah, great. It really does build up. So as Erin Son has just popped in the comments there, email me 35and83@gmail.com if you'd like a private reading. I can do several different kinds of readings. You know, I've sort of built up different ways of doing it to suit people. I can either just do you some cards and explanations and send those as voice messages on Facebook or Instagram Messenger. I can do an email reading, or what's been quite popular in recent times is face-to-face on Zoom. And the great thing about that is I can actually send you a recording of the reading that you have after that. So there we go. And yeah, let me not forget my my coffee scroll at the bottom. Actually, let's see if I can find that, because I haven't got that on there at the moment. And coffee is great, really. They don't take a cut of the money. It all goes straight to PayPal, and then PayPal take a cut of the money, you know, but there's no way of doing this without someone taking a cut of the money. But there we go. We have actually got the coffee.com/Andy's readings scrolling along the bottom there. I have actually got a different coffee name now, which is easier to remember, and I've forgotten it typically. But it still gets through. Something got through today on Andy's readings. Big thanks to all you guys who have kind of shown me some love on that as well. I really appreciate it. Now then, Twainer, up there somewhere. Yes, well, here we are. Twainer says, question, message from the crystal ball, please. Okay, let's do this. This crystal ball is fluorite. I know a lot of people feel that the only true crystal ball is one that's made of clear quartz and you can see right through it. Believe me, friends, I worked in a crystal shop for a very long time, and I had the opportunity to try many different kinds of crystal ball. And this one just does it for me. It really does. You know, it's a very nature-connected stone. And I actually feel we're looking at a kind of a nature-connected question here that Twain has got in her mind. What I'm seeing is it's like a meeting place somewhere near a river, Twainer. And anywhere by water, anywhere near water is always very sacred and is always very positive kind of a place for people to meet up. I'm also feeling that in some ways, you know, it's a lot like what I said to Adrienne. It's as if something's got left behind along the way. And the fact that I'm seeing a meeting by water here says to me that it's actually coming back in. I'm drawn to the thought of your relationship. And I know your husband has been suffering with health problems. I feel that relationship is actually going to fire back up again. Now, whether that happens by water or not, I'm not sure if that's symbolic or if that's absolutely for real. But there's a meeting of minds building up. You know, it's coming closer all the time. You guys are getting closer all the time. And although you're not able to do as much because of his health condition, that is actually going to increase in time to come. Sometimes when people have got that problem, it just goes on and there seems to be no escape from it. That's not the case, you know. It's going to be fine. It's going to be much, much stronger, much, much happier situation. And I really see love coming in very strongly around you, not just actually with your husband, but it's like a whole family thing. I can see a meeting of families, people coming together that way. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Now I can see snow. Okay, I don't know if it's snowing in your part of the world at the moment. I was talking to Celtic Tarot Sheila yesterday, and she's in Colorado Springs, and there was snow there, which is amazing because it's like a heat wave here. I hung some washing out to dry, and it dried in about something like about an hour, I think, to dry. Really thick hoodie like this. The green one was hanging up to dry. So I'm seeing snow, Twainer, and I don't know if this actually relates back to something that was going on last winter or whether this is actually a present thing, but it's definitely a time of snow. This isn't just symbolic snow. This is going to a time of snow, and it's a time when you were really rushed around, that there was a lot going on with you at the time, Twainer. I don't know if you ever really got to actually enjoy this snow, because I feel you were really kind of too busy and it was almost a secondary thing. But that is also slowing down, you know. There are still questions. There are always going to be questions, Twainer, throughout our lives. There always are. It's the nature of life. Kind of solving problems is what keeps us on our toes and really keeps us alive, mentally speaking, as well. So there will always be some intrigue, but at the same time, you're going to have less to do. Yeah. And there's more work coming into your life, but I'm seeing you having less to do. So whatever work you're doing is taking up less of your time, and you're getting more done with less time as we move on through the year. But if you think back to the last time it snowed with you, you know, that's very much when it was going to be, we're going to say it was at its busiest then. Everything's kind of slowing down and getting more gentle since then, from that moment on. But there we are. I'm just going to put the crystal ball down for a second because it's extremely heavy, actually, and take a drink. Instead of a cup tonight, I've got this thing. Hello, Oil Painter. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming and joining me this evening, joining with all of us. This is a nice kind of happy group here. This is really kind of some enjoyable energy that we get going on. Okay. Well, yeah, no, I remember you were talking about a home by the lake, and yeah, I clearly saw it's like waters coming together. So I think it's somewhere near the edge of the lake, somewhere where the water actually flows into it. That's what I'm seeing there. But I'm so glad that's ringing true with you there, Twainer, and I wish you all the very best with that. Jamie says, yeah, hello from West Virginia. Hello to you. Liz Crafts is here. Nice to see you too. And just great to see people joining in all the time. I'm going to give the crystal ball a little rest, not for long. Okay, but I'm going to do some tarot cards now, because that's what we usually do here. And to the future, I'm sure it does. Okay, and I will come to you in a tick. But first, you know what I haven't done? I'm saying first of all, nothing like first of all. I haven't done a Moonology card for the whole gathering yet. Let's do that. Let's do that first. Okay. Right. So now then, the moon is on her way down at the moment. She's in the waning phase, and that is something that brings our thoughts much closer to home. You know, it's when she's rising, when she's waning, we're looking outside into the world and thinking about what we could do and what's going on out there. It's much more introspective when the moon begins to wane. The energy is dropping. It hasn't dropped all that far yet. You know, the moon is still fairly full. She's not even halfway down yet, but the energy is definitely on the wane. And card we've got here. Oh, right. Well, this has got to be true, actually, in a waning phase. A new start is coming, and it's the new moon card. Okay, so I'm giving that to everyone on the group. This is the nature of the energy at the moment. And I absolutely can't believe how tanned I look. I can see myself in the screen there. And I'm usually totally white, but we've had a heat wave here the last couple of days. Not boasting, but it's been extremely nice, and I seem to have got a tan. Okay, let's move back towards the crystal ball then. I saw some people asking there. And right, let me go to Liz Crafts first, okay? And by the way, Liz has a channel where she unboxes decks of cards. It's intriguing, you know, it's interesting how she talks about them. Also, if you were thinking about buying a new deck, you might very well find that Liz has reviewed it. And so that'll kind of let you like virtually try, as it were, before you buy. So great stuff. Now then, okay. So for Liz, I'm drawn to the full moon, Liz. I'm seeing the full moon at this moment. And so that, I think that was about a week ago, wasn't it? It was around the time I was on with Danny Shea. So maybe a bit more, maybe a week and a half, a little while ago anyway. But the full moon, Liz, at the time of the full moon, I believe you were really kind of struggling to have faith in your kind of dreams in terms of what you actually want to get done. And I'm sorry I haven't put your question on the screen there. I've kind of lost it somewhere, and I've got to tap on it to actually put it on there. But never mind all that. So going back to the time of the full moon, Liz, there was some doubts around your dreams and like following your heart and doing stuff that you really want to do. And I know you're on a path of actually trying to get more in touch with your inner kind of desires, you know, your feelings about your spiritual mission in life. I know you're not just willing to kind of let that all pass you by, but it's not going to pass you by, okay? Because what I've got to say is, from looking at the full moon image that I'm seeing in here and just the lines that are coming in around it, things are on the up, Liz. Okay, as we go up, sometimes we go back and forward. It's a bit like Mercury retrograde, you know, Mercury goes off into the sky and it's going forward all the time. But as we look at it from Earth, it goes from side to side a bit. And that gives us the impression that it's usually moving forwards, but sometimes it moves backwards. Actually, it's not. It's going forwards all the time. And what's really happening with you, Liz, at the moment? No real question. I remember that now. But what's really happening with you at the moment, Liz, is that as you try to follow your dreams, as you try to follow your heart, you are coming out of a long time when you didn't feel you would ever be able to do that, actually. And I think the pace is growing very, very slowly for you. But that's the way it goes. Suddenly it speeds up, usually when you least expect it. And you'll notice with your YouTube channel, sometimes it suddenly grows a bit when you least expect it. And the spiritual path is very, very like that. It's a bit like if you've ever tried to push a car to get it to start, you push and it just won't move. And it slowly starts to roll. And then you've got to grab it quick or hope there's someone inside to put the brakes on because it suddenly takes off. And that's how it's going to be, Liz. But keep the faith in your dreams, okay? In your visualizations, don't kind of ask, sort of, is this ever going to happen? More kind of visualize it that it is actually going to happen one fine day, and that difference is going to happen, because you really need to have faith in those, okay? And just give yourself to the divine as you're doing that and in your meditations, Liz, because you will be going forward. I'm absolutely sure of it. Okay, right. So then, hope that helps. Let's see. Joe, I haven't got... What we do, right, guys, if I don't see your question, I'm so sorry, but I just need you to type it in again. So maybe when you type it in the first time, copy it to your clipboard, because I'm gonna scroll and try and find this question now, but it's really small on my screen here. Don't know why it has to be so small. This is StreamYard. It's like really professional, but there we go. Okay. Well, I've got, thanks, Andy. What else have we got? I can't see your question, Joe. All I can see is where it says 9:20 p.m. Thanks, Andy. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, type it in again, Joe. All right, type it in again. That's the best I can do, my friend, because I can't see it. Right now, I'm going to go to Susan Kelly's question. Susan says she would love a message. We're going to go into the tarot for this, okay? But I've got a feeling it's going to lead us back to the crystal ball, because things keep doing that. Susan Kelly, wow. What we've got here is the death card. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it be a worry. It's a much more gentle image in this deck. And this is one of the things I like about Tarot in Wonderland, actually. A much gentler image. And you can see that what's happened is Alice has blown the candle out. And that is like the death of the old ways, the old situations dying off. And they can't really come back to life. And she's blown that candle out. Simply in a way of like closing one door so that another door can open. And so that's what's going on with you at the moment, Susan. And you're going to actually need to push a certain door closed behind you. I feel that this is already over. You know, the situation we're talking about is pretty well over. Just let that door close behind you. Give it a push closed if you have to, because as you go forward, things get a lot more intense, a lot more authentic. A lot more authentic. And we can see that because of the turquoise color here, which is all about speaking your truth, basically. That's really what it's about. And, you know, we've all got to be trying to speak our truth all the time. You know, it's not a terribly easy thing to keep ourselves doing. Because, again, like I said with the Fox sisters, the world is always trying to kind of push us away from our dreams, I suppose, you know, and it's a sad thing, but it's a true thing, you know, Susan. So whatever's like, I feel like you're trying to go forward and it's a bit of a struggle. Something's trying to pull you back all the time. Just kind of cut that off, cut the cord with that if you can, Susan, and let yourself fly free, okay? Because that is the way to follow your heart and follow your dreams. So, Joe, let's come to you. Thanks for typing it in again, Joe. I can never find them on the scrolling thing. It's amazing. My whole screen is full of this StreamYard setup, and I've got like a tiny little screen, which I can hardly see anything in, which is why I'm going like this all the time. It's the size of a postage stamp, and just this tiny chat thing scrolling up at the side. So, okay. Joe says, please, can you tell me why so many people seem to be trying to contact me from spirit and who they are? Thanks. Right. Okay, let's see what we can do. They're trying to bring you some upliftment, Joe. Okay. It's family, and it's soul family as well, right? It's people who, older people, several older people I'm seeing here who knew you in your much younger day and have since gone off into the light, and they want to give you upliftment, Joe, because basically you've got more going for you than oh, excuse me, hiccups. I'm always right when I've got hiccups, but I have got them. Yeah, they want to bring you upliftment, Joe, because like you deserve to be up there a bit more than you are at the moment. And I remember you saying recently you were kind of feeling a bit better about life and feeling, you know, certain amount of healing coming in. But what they really want to do is actually send healing around you. It works best when you actually ask for the healing and when you keep giving the affirmation that you want healing to come in. But it's going to work anyway, okay, because they're sending it into you. Now, they're trying to talk to you essentially because they want to make that connection, really. And there are also people who are trying to talk to you because of people around you, you know. And going back years when I first spoke to you on Facebook, I remember you've kind of got that spiritualist thing about you. You don't actually have to be a medium to engage in the work of spirit, okay? And that really is why they're talking to you, because everyone has got some of that mediumship ability in them. We are all psychic in one way or another. Being a medium is just kind of learning to give it out to other people en masse, pretty much like I'm doing now, which is a job I love to do. But you don't have to do that, Joe. It's kind of sometimes, you know, you can talk to someone who doesn't believe at all, and you can just say, oh, I had this dream, and that will give them some hope, you know. So they're trying to make use of you and get you to make use of them. It's a two-way street, you know. It's not just being used. It's actually about about communicating in two directions, but the healing is coming in, Joe. And if you do some healing meditations, if you can, right, there are loads of them on YouTube, and I think you know some ways of meditating yourself. But you will actually find that the whole thing increases in power quite a bit. Here we go. The reason I asked on Sunday about a family connection in the US is because that is where my fiance is. Right, well, that's a long way to send your thoughts out, isn't it? But Joe, you know, just as we can kind of communicate across the pond quite easily using the internet, spiritual connections are much more powerful even than that. And if love is going on, then love is going to keep going on. All you can really do is follow your heart. I keep saying that to people, and that's a part of just about every message that there is, actually. But yeah, and I'll give you that with the love of spirit, Joe. I hope it helps you. And yeah, I shall move on. And as Kat says, yes, please remember to give a thumbs up for this live. Thank you. And I thank you very much as well. 40 watching now. Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. Sometimes we get up to 50, sometimes we don't. Philip is sat with my phone in my hand watching the live as I watch. Oh, this chat thing, something popped up so I couldn't. Right, as I watch England against Poland. Ah, right, yeah, there we go. That sounds like a real interesting match, actually, Philip. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And that is one of the great things, actually, about making these connections on the internet. We can kind of multitask. We can do other things while we're kind of moving on. Anyway, moving along right now, let's go to Abantika Das. Hi, Andy. Hi, Abantika Das. Thank you for joining me and for joining all of us here on the channel tonight. May I ask what blessings coming to me in regards to my career in April? Okay. Right. Know what to do here. It's a deck of cards again. The crystal ball will be out again this evening, and it will be out in force because it is full of energy. I had a cloth over it for ages. And if you ever work with a crystal ball, put a cloth over it while you're not using it, guys. It's like an affirmation that you want it to lie dormant for a bit and gather up its energy. Okay. So, by the way, hello, Nicola, and hello, Autumn Gypsy. Nice to see you guys with us this evening. But right, what blessings coming to Abantika Das? I hope I've pronounced your name right. In regards to my career in April. Okay. Well, first of all, it's going to put you much more in touch with your path, not just your spiritual path, but your path through life. And that is a great blessing in a way, although that's not going to feel as if it comes to very much. But when you look back on that time, you're going to realize that was one of the best things about it, because you've been pursuing your career for a long time. And I think you actually trust yourself quite strongly with your ability to do what you do in your career, Abantika. But the question always is, particularly with career, what about colleagues? What about management? Do they kind of trust me? Is this actually, am I going to get anywhere doing this thing, even though I know I'm good at it? Well, yes, you are. Just got to trust that path. There'll be support there for you, basically. The card I've got for you is the play card. And that is telling me that there's also going to be more leisure time for you somehow. Maybe this is actually going to be working, and there's going to be an aspect of the job that you really, really love. Let's have a look. I feel that the business I've started is part of my life purpose. Great. Never expected to quit job and started it. All happened all out of nowhere. There is your sign, really, that it is definitely on your path. But yeah, we've got the play card here, and it says have fun, celebrate, and it also says don't be so serious. Well, I can tell that you've really kind of let go and gone with the flow, which is brilliant. So I'm not going to tell you don't be so serious. We kind of pick out what we need to pick out from these cards, but it's going to be fun. That's really going to be the blessing of it. You're going to feel much more kind of secure, I feel, than you do at the moment, Abantika. And as long as I'm on the right path, and what's better than work and play? Absolutely. I wish you the best of that with all of that, Abantika. And I feel, and why am I saying all of it? It's a multifaceted thing. This is taking you in more than one direction all at once. It's like when you go along a road and there are different things either side of the road. Don't be afraid to go from side to side a bit. Don't feel you've got to shoot straight ahead in a direct line with it, Abantika, because all that time you go side to side, you're going to be just, you know, feeling more things, feeling new things, meeting other people who feel things, and it's going to build up your sort of emotional stock of things that you understand and things that you can do. Okay, thanks so much for your question. Jennifer. Hi to you, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. Wondering if it is the right time to start an astrology course for certification. Right. First, I'm going to do a card, then I'm going to do a pendulum on this. Okay, going to do a moonology card since we're talking astrology here at the moment. What we've got, be bold and make the first move. So, Jennifer, stop worrying about it. That's the bottom line. If you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead and do that, okay? This is actually going to be a great time for it, I'm sure, because this card says, be bold and make the first move, and it's showing a cardinal moon, which is a very powerful lunar influence. And we haven't got a cardinal moon right now, and I'm not saying wait till there's a cardinal moon, not at all. But that's a pretty strong yes, but it is saying be bold and make the first move. So basically, Jennifer, don't worry about it, okay? It is what's meant to happen in your life. And let's just ask the pendulum. Let's get the pendulum to stop twirling. And as it stops twirling, it's giving a pretty emphatic yes, Jennifer. It's doing a big circle there. Yeah, the longer I hold it, the bigger the circle is. So, yeah, that's definitely a yes. Twainer gets a yes as well. So that is good confirmation there. Very good confirmation. Joe, let's have a look. Am I correct that someone who works with my fiance is or could be related to me? Let's do the pendulum again on that one. Just stop it moving. To be honest, Joe, it's given me a back and forth there, so I'm going to say no. But it wasn't a very emphatic back and forth, so who knows? Anyway, have a great sleep, Joe, and thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, Julie M. If Spirit wants me to know something, do you have a card for me? Okay. Well, you know, I'd have a card for you even if Spirit didn't want you to know something, Julie. They always want you to know something. Where are we going? Ascended Masters on this occasion. Let's go with the Ascended Masters for Julie M. And thanks for joining us again, by the way. Keep it here, guys. There's always new videos coming up. I've done several videos about Merlin in recent times. There's another one coming up tomorrow, I think. I've got it in the, it's loaded into the camera now, and I've started editing it a bit as well. So if I can get it all edited in time, that will be up tomorrow to see. And we just go for a little drive before we do the reading, and I show you the Preseli Mountains, which is it's made of this blue stone, and they found examples of this blue stone at Stonehenge. They're some of the main stones in the middle of Stonehenge, and nobody knows how on earth they got those stones there in ancient times, as it's about 3 hours drive by car. And the legend is that Merlin flew them across the sea. And that's a very powerful legend, actually. So it's more about Merlin. That's coming up tomorrow. So don't forget to hit the old subscribe button, guys, and you'll get a chance to see that. You'll get a reminder about everything that comes up. Just while I'm doing this card, are you coming up, Marcy? Hey, look, it's Marcy the cat. Come to see us. Look, come on, turn around and say hello to people. Look. See all those people typing stuff in there? Right, I've got my higher self with me now. So, Julianne, what does Spirit want you to know? Oh, okay. Peace offering, white buffalo calf woman. Now, I feel, Julie, that you've actually felt spiritual presences around you at times. This card is sometimes about, you know, what's going on in our world at the moment, and it can be about interpersonal arguments, but I feel this is spirit making peace with you, Julie. Okay, sometimes I mean there are certain kind of rules of the way it's done, as it were, in the spirit world, in the spirit realms, and sometimes they overstep those rules a bit. It's happened to me several times, and they always do something to make up for it. So something nice is either happening now, Julie, or it's going to be happening pretty soon, because we've got white buffalo calf woman there on her amazing white buffalo calf that she's riding on, and she's very Native American. If I bring her up close, look at her there. She's really kind of showing all that Native American mysticism and very, very strong spiritual powers. She's holding also, you have to really look closely to make it out, but she's holding essentially a peace pipe there. I've read about peace pipes. It's not a full-on peace pipe by the look of it, but she's holding it out. She's holding it out to you, and that is the spirit world, Julie. I feel that some you like asked for protection against something, and it didn't go all that well, and I feel they're trying to make amends for that, really. And as I put that card away, Julie, another one's popped up. Moses, take charge of the situation. Okay, so with spirit guides, you got to let them know what you want them to do. It's their will to work for you 24/7 if you want. Sometimes you've got to ask them to step back a bit, excuse me, because they will work 24/7. They don't have a problem doing that, but we are only human, and we do have a problem going 24/7. So you got to think about that. Someone asked me if I'd do if I'd guest on a show in Australia the other day, and I had to say no, because if I start appearing at Australian time and British time and American time, I'm just never going to be able to go to bed. So that's, I would have loved to have done it, but just got to kind of pace yourself. And guides wanted to work with me, but I had to say sorry, guys. Got to be aware of who I am as a human being and kind of go with the flow of that. Because the more we do that, the more the power builds up. Okay. Hello, Garden Plants. How nice to see you. Garden Plants was here a couple of years ago, before the channel really took off. It's taken off a lot in the last few months, but Garden Plants was there right back at the beginning. Great to see you, Garden Plants. I'm well, thanks, and I hope life is treating you really nice and well at the moment. Julie M, you're very welcome, my friend. I only wish I could do more for people, but that's the nature of it. Whenever I'm coming away from a spiritualist church with Sammy, who's an amazing medium lady who I work with in the churches, whenever we're coming away in the car on the way back, we're always saying, oh, we should have said this and we should have said that. And after a while, we realize that when we start speaking on behalf of spirit, they give us the words. And if we feel we left something out, we didn't, because we only said what we were given to give out. And the greatest teaching for mediums that there is give it as you get it. No more, no less. That is how it works. Okie dokie. Into the future. I think we're on the tarot here again, actually. Anything from spirit for me? And hey, thank you for your question, and a virtual hug to you too. Loving all these virtual hugs that come in, by the way. Really nice. I'm always saying, please show me some love on coffee. But, it's nice to send me some love as a virtual hug, because I know it goes on. I'm sensitive. I feel it, and it matters. Okay, right. 2 cards. I tried to pick 1 card for you, into the future, and 2 came out. So let's see what we've got here. We are with Tarot in Wonderland, the Enchanted Alice in Wonderland based deck. First card I got for you, 4 of Wands. Okay, now Wands cards are about action. They're about things happening. The 4 of Wands, it kind of symbolizes a happy home. And if you don't feel really at one with the place you're living in at the moment, don't worry too much about it, because happiness is definitely on its way. But more than anything, this card symbolizes an event. It could be a thing like a wedding, if you know what I mean. It's like a big event where people come together. And if it is a wedding, hopefully Donald Trump won't turn up and start talking about how the election was stolen from him. He showed up at a wedding in Mar-a-Lago a few days ago. I was watching can't remember who it was, but some like American talk show guy was talking about it. And Yeah, so let's hope it's not a wedding that Donald Trump turns up to, if it is a wedding. But basically, it's a gathering of people that you're going to be closely involved with, N2. Okay, and it's really important that everyone is on their best behavior at that meeting. Not least because the next card I got for you is 8 of Wands, so it's another wand card. So things are happening, and this card says that things are happening fast, and there's nothing much you can do to change the situation. It's already sorted. It's already on its way. But putting that with the 4 of Wands, I would say you've got to watch out for the hand of karma in that one, okay? And not in a bad way, but basically, if something's happening and you're worried that, oh, you know, there's nothing you can do about it, and if that's a bit of a worry to you, and to that you're not going to be able to do anything to change the situation, fear not, because karma always arrives. Like, if karma's on its way and you put a thing right, then karma comes right by the time it arrives, you know? Because karma isn't punishment. People always think it's punishment. It's not. It is the science of your relationship with God. That, my friend, is what karma is all about. Now then, tonight really is all about mediumship, because of the Fox sisters, really, and the fact that it's HYDESVILLE Day, and it's that celebration of the fact that spiritualism started on this day in 1848. Message from my son, says Michelle, my bell. Right, okay. So let's get tuned in. I may use cards for this, but I'm going to start off just trying to tune in. Right, first thing I see, Michelle, is like a fishing line. I don't know if your son liked fishing. I feel he might have been quite a bit too young to really have ever got into fishing, but he's showing me a fishing line. So you like fishing for answers about something, Michelle, I wonder? Because sometimes we have to do that, you know, things aren't clear and we have to fish around to try and find answers. I also feel, Michelle, that he wants to like wrap you up. I can see, I thought I was seeing bandages at first, but they look more like blankets being wrapped around you. So he's obviously aware that you're not having a very nice time at present, and I'm really sorry if that is the case. Okay, right, let's do a card. There's some advice coming through, Michelle, I'm sure, and gonna just cut the deck here and see what we get. Okay, right, the ever unfolding rose. This situation that you're going through. Okay, and I did ask your son to kind of guide my hands with the cards here. And it's not just him. He is telling me he's got granddad with him, grandfather. And grandfather is wearing he's wearing a suit. He's like on his best behavior. I think grandfather was a smartly dressed man who, no matter how smartly he dressed, always looked a little bit not quite right somehow. He's telling me he wasn't a clothes horse, as it were. He wasn't a coat hanger. But there we go. The message here, the ever unfolding rose, and it says cracked opening. It's cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So whatever's going on around you at the moment, Michelle, and it feels like it's quite fearful for you, actually, is something that's basically, it's not going to kill you. It's going to make you stronger. And the reason that you're going through it right at the moment is that it's like metamorphosis, you know, it's changing from one phase of life to another. And it's getting over something. Now, I don't know that it's necessarily getting over his passing. Oh, I'm sure that must be a painful thing. And I think we spend the rest of our lives getting over someone's passing. So that's no doubt part of it. But there's something else going on as well, Michelle. It's not a happy situation for you at the moment, as far as I can see it, right? But the symbol of it is this rose on the card here. And it's a beautiful symbol, and it's going to work itself out beautifully. Can you see also there's a big window at the end of the card here, and it's letting in a lot of light. So light is coming in, and what you're going through, Michelle, is rather a lot like when you've been in a dark place for quite a long time, or maybe when you've been asleep and you wake up and the sun's shining into the room, and it's like, oh, difficult to open your eyes, you know, but he's there, he's close around you. I'm absolutely sure he was talking to me there. Don't know if I was right about the fishing, but he's like, you know, it could be like playing with string with a cat, something like that. But I can see him hanging this cord down in front of me at this moment. Okay, and I'm sure that is actually also showing a connection between him and you, because souls are connected forever, you know. Anyone you meet, anyone you get to know in this life is someone you were meant to know. These connections are absolutely eternal, and somehow we will all be together in the afterlife at some point, you know. And although he's there now, Michelle, you will see him again. Okay, I'm absolutely sure of that. So thanks very much for your question. And as a lot of people are saying, you know, very sorry for your loss there. And he hung himself. Oh, he hung himself. That's why I'm seeing the string. Oh, so I feel a bit insensitive now for talking about fishing and stuff. Goodness me. Okay. Yeah. Well, if he knew now, if he'd known then what he knew, what he knows now, let's get my words right. If he'd known then what he knows now, he wouldn't have actually done that. And he's realizing that it wasn't just simply bringing things to a close, which was what he felt like doing at the time. He's realized that in doing that, he's actually opened up a whole load of other stuff. But Michelle, he's going to be fine over there, because people who take their own lives are looked after in a special way. It's there's a very elderly medium who's passed away herself now, but she was a famous British medium in the 1970s and 80s here, Doris Stokes, and she wrote a book about this. It's as if there's a hospital situation on the other side, and people like your son are received with love, and everything does come to heal. And so I guess, you know, he's kind of sorry about that, really, you know. But he's more sorry than anything that it's hurt you as much as it has. Okay. He's also showing me something to look at. I don't know if there was a special place you guys went and he looked up at something. Maybe you looked up at the moon or something. But it's like a light that you looked up at that's in a special place that you used to go to together. And he says, you know, when you're looking up, think of him, because he still connects to that place and he still connects to that light, and he's shining like a bright light. I really think he's making great progress in the spirit world, and try not to worry, my friend, okay, because he is okay now. He's in safe hands, and he'll make sure that you're in the hands of the angels as well, and that you're kept safe. Don't forget to ask the angels yourself, Michelle, but they'll be looking after you at this time, and really all the way on into the future. And yeah, terrible to think of what's happened there. And I'm really sorry for your loss, and thanks for your question. Okay. Donna, here we go. Right. Guys, if I missed your question, do type it in again, so that when I'm in between questions, if you possibly can. It's a good idea when you type in your question to copy it so you can paste it in again without having to type it all again, because I don't actually run a list when I'm doing this. I allow my spirit guides to lead me from one question to the next. So let's take a little drink. Right. As I was drinking out of my bottle of water, I was drawn to the idea of bottled water, Donna. Now, I remember there was a situation involving your cellar and a lot of water, but that wasn't drinking water. There's something about drinking water here. Okay. And just to put some flesh on the bones, I'm going to go into Keepers of the Light and see what they have to say about it. See where my hands are guided by spirit within the deck to see what happens. It's this one, is it? Okay. Right, well, what we've got is Lady Nada, Heart Awakening, and now I get the significance of bottled water. It's a drink more water thing, Donna, because you're going forward. Now, it says here, awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. Don't know if you can read that. Maybe it's come out in mirror writing, actually. But that's what's going on with you at the moment. There is a divine awakening. Now, I know you are a very spiritual person, but as I'm always saying, just because you've kind of done well spiritually or making progress spiritually, you can always go further. It's not an insult to say keep trying, because as successful as you've been, you definitely can go higher. And as we've got Heart Awakening, something is really, really coming to life for you spiritually, Donna. Okay, and so that's why you're going to need to drink more water. You're going to kind of need to take a rest between things. I was saying earlier, someone wanted me to do a show in Australia, and I wouldn't get any sleep if I was on Australian YouTube and British YouTube and American YouTube. So I just had to say, no, I would have liked to have gone higher. But I haven't lost anything. You know, that will happen one day, and it'll happen in a way that I can handle. So drink more water, Donna. That is really the main thing, I think, because I was so drawn to my water bottle there. Okay. There is a refreshment, sort of a refreshingness coming to you. You're going to feel more refreshed in the near future as well. I feel that you've been actually asking to feel more refreshed. And we did a reading, didn't we, Donna? And I think that was part of it there. But you need to be waking up feeling refreshed in the morning. So that's either drink more water, but along with that, ask the angels to kind of lay off you a little bit and just let things happen for you at your own pace. Okay, it's important to go at your own pace in any kind of spiritual development. So I'll give you that with fair love, and thanks so much for your question. And you are dehydrated. Okay, well, drink that water, Donna. It's the only way. It's the only way, really. We've got crazy weather at the moment, you know. Sometimes it's suddenly a bit hotter. Sometimes it's suddenly a bit colder. There's a heat wave in UK at the moment, which is why I've got a suntan that I don't usually have. Easter weekend, apparently it's going to be freezing weather and snowing here again. And when it's very hot, it dries you out. When it's very cold, it dries you out too. Laura Carlson, thanks for joining us. Got to go to appointment. Love seeing everyone. See you later. Stay safe. Love and hugs, Twig. Love and hugs to you, Laura, from me and from all of us, I'm sure. And thank you very much for joining us. Hope we see you again, and hope I get to do a question for you sometime. Laura, good luck with your appointment. Okay, Lynn Wilson is asking, hi, Andy, was wondering what my prospects are for employment in the future. Okay, let's bring the crystal ball out. The crystal ball has been kind of quiet lately, hasn't it? Okay, just feel the energy. Just let it warm up a bit. Feel it tingling. Something about your crown chakra here. Okay, now you're talking about future employment. So why am I seeing the crown chakra? Right, future employment for you, Lynn, involves something that you're interested in. I feel you've taken an interest in this thing in fairly recent months. Not maybe this is something that you probably weren't thinking much about even just a year ago. It's a fairly new interest. You've been pursuing it for a while, but it's a fairly new interest. Okay, and what you're learning there is taking root in you at the moment, and in your future employment, that is going to help you. So has there been something, Lynn, if you don't mind me asking, has there been something in your life? Oh, Liz, it's fluorite. It's green. It doesn't show up too well. I have got some selenite here as well. It's always worth having, but no, it's a fluorite ball. Yeah, I can see this kind of shaft of light coming into your mind, lighting you up with new ideas. And I can see the new ideas settling there. And I can see them being a big part of your employment in the future. I feel like this is either a job you've been interested in for a long time, and this is a new take on it, or it's just a completely new thing, but there's a great feeling of newness about it. And you went to driving school for semis. All right, okay. Well, right, in that case, I would say you're going to get work doing that then, because that's really what I'm seeing. This information has sunk in. Okay, now I guess there are going to be exams along the way for a thing like driving a semi, because they are really not small, are they? Looks positive, because the feeling I really get is that the information has settled in. Give it some more time to settle in, okay? But yeah, it looks good for work for you doing that. Okay, let's go to Oil Painter, who I've just met recently, and I've clicked on the wrong thing. The chat keeps moving. Oh, I've lost it. Here we go, right. Here we go. I have a couple of art projects in the works for kids. Will they be popular? Right. Let's use the pendulum for that, Oil Painter. And thanks for coming over and subscribing, by the way. Great to get to know you. And guys, if there's anyone watching this who hasn't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel a lot. It helps with the YouTube algorithm as well. Not just me, it kind of shows that all the psychics, Danny and Sheila, well, there's so many psychics and mediums on YouTube. It's absolutely great. And it's really brilliant if you subscribe to us all, really, because that shows the algorithm that the psychic movement is for real on YouTube, and that it's good for YouTube to actually do it. So will Oil Painter's couple of art projects that are in the works at the moment for kids be popular? Okay, what we got? Is this a new adventure or a new venture, Oil Painter? I feel there's something new about this. It's an aventurine pendulum, and I was strongly drawn to use this pendulum. I've got several here. Right, it's giving me it's doing two things, right? It's doing a circle, which it does for yes, and it's doing 2 or 3 circles, and then it's kind of cutting back in a no. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to take off slowly. Yes, they are going to be popular, but they're not going to be popular with absolutely everyone. They're going to be popular with enough people for that whole, for the couple of projects, art projects, to be successful as a part of the bigger project of your life and your work and what you're actually trying to do at the moment. That's going to be a great success. Okay, I just see some back and forth there. I don't see it working out like snap your fingers quick, but they are going to be popular, and they're going to mean a lot to a lot of children, not just kind of a handful. A lot of children are going to like them, and they're going to get fairly well known as well. Okay, I don't know if you're really looking for stardom. Usually people who do oil paintings are very kind of steady, careful people. And I used to do acrylics, and I could just never discipline myself enough to do oil. I never could. So, you know, you've been doing steady work, steady progress. It's looking pretty good to me. Let's just do a card before we move on. What have we got? Okay, yeah, number 7, the Chariot. Yeah, so that's pretty good. You're on the journey with that, Oil Painter, and the journey is going to keep going. And now I know why I saw a bit of back and forth. In this version of the Chariot, Alice has been given the wrong tools. She's trying to play a game of, I think, polo, using a flamingo as a polo hammer thing and a hedgehog instead of a ball. She works it out in the end, basically. That's the story with this deck. So at the moment, it feels like you've done all the right stuff, right? And the kids are receptive to it. But there's someone in the way. There's someone in the middle who's making this easy for you, you know? Not making this easy for you at all. But it's going to get a whole lot easier, okay? Because that is kind of, it's at the core of your being to do that, you know? And it's closely in tune with what you want to be doing and where you want to be going in your life. Okay. Yeah, money doesn't matter. Great. I'm really pleased to hear that. Yeah. And, you know, the great thing, when you take the attitude that money doesn't happen, you kind of just do your best, whatever. And when money eventually does happen, which it will in the end, when money eventually does happen, it's not a big stressy thing where you've got to kind of give up half your life just to have some money coming in. So, you know, pretty good. Thanks for that question. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Let's take a look at Sharon Lee's question. Will I sell a couple comedy shows or some other creative thing? Wow. Okay. You must be a bit like Princess Caroline in BoJack Horseman, Sharon, if you're selling comedy shows. That's quite impressive, actually. For some reason, now I'm thinking of Bertie and Tuca. Don't know if you know them. There was only one series, but Tiffany Haddish is in it and Ali Wong. Why am I thinking of Bertie and Tuca? Well, for a start, I'd say yes, comedy is going to be successful for you, because the first thing I was shown was Bertie and Tuca, and that is hilarious. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen Bertie and Tuca, I'll type it in now so you can see how to spell it. Okay, Bertie and Tuca. No, it's not. I've got it the wrong way around. It is Tuca and Bertie. You just got to watch that show, guys. I absolutely love that show. I watch it all the time, Bertie and Tuca. So, yeah, if you're going to sell anything, it's going to be comedy. That is going to work for you, okay? Some other creative thing is part of it as well, but I feel that the shows are going to be comedy. You're going to be like selling your creative imagination and your creative ability, because what actually links you in with that kind of work is that you are quite creative within yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up creating a show off your own back, actually. But looking forward. Right, I feel that you're going to have to kind of approach people in high places to really make it happen, Sharon. I don't know if that would be New York. I don't know where the epicenter is for things like that. Someone's just said to me, not Burbank. Okay, I don't know if Burbank's even still going, but yeah, something around the New York area. That's what I'm really drawn to there. But I wish you the best of luck with that. Yes, I will have to pitch it. Yeah, you certainly will. And I'm drawn back to BoJack Horseman again and that old turtle that's really cynical about everything. Okay. Right, let's keep going. Oh, I don't like LA. Well, fair enough. I can't imagine. It sounds like LA sounds a fantastic place to me, but I can't imagine what it would be like living there, because I'm in the back of beyond here. It's really quiet, miles and miles from anywhere. Julius asks, what's going on with DK right now? Is she all right? I never heard anything from her for over 1 month. Okay. Let's go with the healing pendulum and let's ask if she's all right. Okay. So what we got with this. Just let it twirl for a second because the string has to unwind. It's not on a chain because it's a Reiki pendulum, and this is kind of how they are. She's up and down, Julius. Okay, she's not in a bad way or anything, but her life at the moment is kind of going forward. Is this a woman? Anyway, DK's life is going forward at the moment, you know, and there's nothing really negative going on, but something slightly keeps pulling her back. It's not an easy path forward for her, for DK at the moment. Oh, I've got the gender right there. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, things are going back and forth, and she's got a lot on her plate, and you're not hearing from her because she doesn't want to bother. She's just got a lot going on. Okay. Now, let me just pull a card and see if we can get a little bit further into that at this point. What we've got, let's cut the deck and do it that way. Queen of Wands. Right. Now, what I'm really drawn to here is the black cat over here. And that is good news, okay, because she is being guided by a higher self, a higher consciousness. And what she's having to do now in her life is what she's meant to do, what she's always been drawn to do. It's something that at a soul level really, really matters to her. Okay. And we can see a black heart on a red flag there. It's like the colors got reversed somewhere along the line. So she's busy doing stuff, and her kind of heart and her family and her family of friends aren't exactly taking second place. There just isn't time to do the whole thing, you know. So Julius, thanks for your question. I seriously hope that helps. Philip, you timed that just right, my friend. Can you please ask Andy for a Keepers of the Light card for me? Thank you. Okay. Well then, what have we got here? Let's have a shuffle, and then I'm going to cut the deck. Master Buddha, increased awareness. I'm not too surprised to get this card for you, Philip, because this is very much on the path of the cards I've pulled for you in recent times, as far as I can remember. Your awareness is increasing. Your spiritual journey is gathering pace. Okay. It probably feels to you at the moment, Philip, that things are actually calming down rather than taking off. But that's the nature of spiritual progress, really. The further you go into it, the more calming it becomes. So relax into your meditations, friend. It says here, deep connection, trust your inner voice. I think this was the same card that I pulled for you last time, Philip, which just goes to show that the guidance must have been right then as it is now. For some reason, Philip, I want to say to you, there are breathing techniques that can heat your body up, and some Buddhist monks, and this has been scientifically researched, are able to go out into a cold environment and wear a wet sheet and actually dry the sheet, even though it's freezing cold outside. So it's the power of super deep mystic things, Philip. If you feel like you're coming up against a wall on your path, just, you know, really kind of trust the universe to take you deeper and deeper, even if that seems impossible to you. Okay. Thanks as always for your support, Philip. Philip is a great supporter of the channel here. I wish you love and light, and I wish you well in absolutely everything. Okay. Now then, Gail C is here. Thank you for joining us, Gail C. Right. Hi, Andy. Can you tell me if my son and his son ever get back together after a fallout? Oh, okay. Right. Let's do crystal ball on this one. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There's a crack in this crystal ball, and I didn't pick it up particularly looking for the crack, but the first thing I saw was the crack, and this crack mends itself. Don't know how well it shows in the screen here, but let's get in front of the camera. The crack runs from up here to somewhere down here, and then it joins together again. And I'm sure it will heal. Okay, I'm feeling it's going to be a longish time. Right. Your son had to be quite strict, I feel, and he had to be quite strict in a way that your grandson would have felt was pretty unreasonable, actually. And that has a lot to do with the falling out. And that's why it sort of feels a bit hopeless to you when you think about it, because the energy is really quite strongly at odds at the present time. Okay, but yes, I do see some healing coming in. I'm sure they make it back together. It's going to be quite a while, because the card I've got here is open your heart to love, and one of them has to do that. And if you get a chance to talk to your son about this, push that whole angle of being open to love, okay? Because that's the bond you've got. That's the strong bond that you've got with your son and that he's got with his son. It is a strong family bond, though, and the overall answer is yes, it's going to happen. They're going to be back together. Okay. Little while, though. I think we're looking at next year, to be honest. So I'm afraid that's not healing as quickly as we'd always like these things to heal. But yes, it's not going to be forever. It is going to heal. And that is what really, really matters. So, Andy, a question from Debbie Fitzsimmons. If only I could see it. Let me see. Right. Hi, and is there anything Spirit wants me to know? Okay. Let's see what we can do. And this time, we're going with Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. Maybe she was born at Christmas. Who knows? Let's pop the box down there and see. Is anything Spirit wants Debbie Fitzsimmons to know? Yeah, there is, because I saw quite a strong image of the pictures I've seen of the HYDESVILLE house there, actually. So there definitely is. Right, yeah, there we go. Don't dim to fit in, Debbie. You're in a situation where for some reason, you're having to be like subservient, you're having to kind of toe the line in a way. And that is actually stopping you from making the best of that situation. Someone there, though, appreciates you and respects you. So look for someone in that situation to actually who trusts you and believes in you. That person will help you get forward. Okay. At the moment, you're having to kind of pretend you're not all that good at something, maybe at life generally, I don't know, but basically you're having to dim your light to fit in. Don't let that happen, okay? Shine your light brightly because you've got that light for a reason. Thanks for your question, Debbie. Okay, now then. Coming to Raven Manning now. Here we go. I am recovering from a physical ailment. Any message on that, please and thank you, Andy. And please and thank you, Raven. Much appreciated. Still with keepers. No, we're not. We're still with Work Your Light. That's what we're still with. Work Your Light. Council of Light, Raven. Okay. So basically, there are healers working together. It's like a gathering of healers in the spirit realm, sending healing to you because you've been asking them for healing. You've been sending your thoughts out. Don't know if you've asked the angels directly. If not, do ask them because it always helps, Raven. Okay. But you've definitely been praying for some help with this physical ailment. I feel that you've actually seen an improvement in it, but it wasn't as much of an improvement as you were hoping for. It's taken a bit longer than you would have liked to actually get the recovery going. But it is actually happening, okay? Sometimes we take 2 steps forward and, well, let's put it another way. Let's say you took 5 steps forward and 4 steps back. It feels hopeless, but not really, because you're still 1 step further forward than you were. So you're on the healing path and things are improving. The whole situation is actually getting better, Raven. And so will you in the fullness of time. It's going to take a long time. I feel it's a real pain in the neck to you because of how long it's taking. But yeah, it just kind of hang in there, okay? Hang in there because you're going places, okay? And the ailment is going places only in that it's going away. And away is a very good place for an illness to go, for an ailment to go. Okay, Mad Who, here we go. Please can you check if there is any message for me from my spirit guides? Okay. Right, there's someone, Madhu, there's someone in the spirit world who took their own life. I don't know if you would actually know of this person or if it was in previous generations. I think possibly it was in previous generations, but if you ask around your family, you will actually find that something along those lines did actually happen. Okay. Let's cut the deck and bring out the card. Right. Oh, 3 of Cups. This is a nice one. Okay. Now then, let's put your message on the screen. That's the first thing to do. Here we go. Right. Yeah, 3 of Cups. Now, this is an upward spiral when you get the 3 of Cups. There are 2 different ways of looking at this, okay? On the one hand, this could be you and someone else working together and the angels coming in to bless that work that you're doing together. On the other hand, it could be several people coming around you who are like-minded people who are going to help you on your path, who are going to be of assistance to you. But basically, when this card happens, things get better and better. There are good opportunities. Look at all the low-hanging fruit on the trees there that these guys can reach. Their cups are full, and there are cakes on cake stands all over the ground. So good things coming in. That's an incredibly positive card there. Okay. Yeah. Don't know why I was drawn to someone, but there's someone in your spirit people, in your spirit family, as it were, on the other side who took their own life, and basically they're okay. You know, they're talking to me, and you're saying no to that. Yeah. I think if you ask back in the family, you're going to find that there was someone. It may be an ancestor. It may be going right back, but I felt that quite strongly there. But hey, things are going in the right direction. Things are looking up, and I totally hope that helps with you. Okay. Beverly's saying she's just learning. But Beverly, you'll learn fast. Once you start learning, it comes flooding in. It really does. All you've got to be is open, and it is coming to you. Now, guys, I was talking about doing an open circle. I'm still planning to do it. Just haven't got enough takers for it yet to make it actually work, but we will be doing that at some point. Okay. Right. Garden plants. What is the spirit message of the frog? I have no idea. Let me think. Must have been riveting. And I hope this show is riveting. I really do. Okay. Tell you what, it's an animal question. Let's go with messages from your animal spirit guides. This deck is spookily accurate. Really is. People with very little, sometimes people with no experience at all of doing card readings, use this deck, Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides by Stephen D. Farmer, and they get a result. You know, it's a prize every time, this deck. What have we got? Okay. It's not just given me one, it's given me two, but there we go, garden plants. What is the spirit message of the frog? First one out, octopus. Practice shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. Frogs are actually pretty good at that, aren't they? They kind of, they just blend in with the scenery, and they come shooting out when that's absolutely necessary. So shape-shifting sounds like a wacky, crazy thing. But I think what you've got to do, garden plants, is you've got to be like someone who pleases everyone. None of us can really do that, but you've got to try and please lots of different people. And anyway, also with that, peregrine falcon, act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. There's a word. Commit to whatever's coming up and just go ahead. If it's something you don't feel terribly good at yourself, or if it gives you any kind of nervous feelings, just go for it, because somehow you will become the person that you need to be at that moment. All a bit vague there, but I bet that means something to you, because this deck is mega powerful. It really is. And thanks for all your support over the last couple of years, garden plants. And thanks for your question here tonight. Okay. Scroll down a bit. Oh, frogs are cleansing. Yes, they definitely are. Okay. He stayed and stared. Yeah, someone talking to you there. Most definitely. Beverly Spencer. Andy, may I please have animal spirit card? Yes, you most certainly can. Let's see what we've got. Wow. Feel like you've been getting to grips with computers in new ways. I don't know if you've got a new computer or a new phone or a new device. That's the feeling I've got. Okay, card for you is Snow Leopard, which was the name of a Mac operating system quite a long time ago. There we go. Something about computers there, though. And Snow Leopard says to you, Beverly, take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. So it's calling it on you to spend some time on your own, Beverly. Okay. Now, that sounds very meditative to me. Meditation is always a great thing. And when people are having trouble getting really deep into meditation, it's very often because of other people around them, or just because the place where they usually are is kind of too noisy and there's too much going on. So, Beverly, your spirit guides are really trying to work with you at the present time. I'm sure they always are, actually, but they seem to be making a particular effort at the moment. So kind of go with that flow, Beverly. And if you can kind of isolate yourself, just cut yourself off somewhere. Not for a long time or anything like that. Just to give yourself maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours to actually relax and be quiet in solitude. Then you're going to become much more aware of the spiritual stuff that's going on around you at the moment, because it's all to do with spiritual mission at this time in your life. Okay, so take some time out and meditate. That is the way to go. Okay. Thanks for your question, Beverly, and thank you for all your support too. Adrienne hates having to work sometimes, missing chatting. Oh, sorry, Adrienne. You know, it's really tricky to come up with a time that works for people. But I'm always, thinking of ways of doing things at different times. I haven't changed anything yet because I'm so busy in the garden this time of year. But I am talking about doing some much earlier in the UK day, and probably more at weekends as well, Adrienne. So hopefully there's something where, you can just kind of sit and enjoy it for what it is without being distracted by work all the time. And Adrienne, thank you for your support as well. It is always much appreciated. April Evans says, I wanted to let everyone know that all your prayers and the mantra Andy told me about has been really helping. I am walking a little more than I have been. Wonderful. Okay. That's great. That's the magic of these things, People often criticize Christian faith healers because they'll kind of make people stand up and walk. And, they'll manage it because of all the charisma that's going on. And then as soon as the show's over and everyone's parted with their money, the person can't walk again. But the progress you're making, April, is like really steady, and using that mantra and, prayers coming in from people do have a life-changing power. And I'm so glad to see that that's working for you, April. Wonderful to know that. Okay. Liz Crafts asks, what is an open circle? Right. Well, we're talking about Hydesville Day and the spiritualist movement. In the spiritualist churches in this part of the world, I can't speak for USA, but in this part of the world, we learn in a circle, and there are open circles and closed circles. An open circle is for everyone. It's great for beginners, but a lot of very experienced mediums will actually still sit in an open circle because you can always learn more. The way I run them, and I've done a few, is that everyone arrives and you have to be there right at the beginning because we lock the door so that no one gets distracted. And then we have a guided meditation, maybe some music to get in the zone, a guided meditation, and the guidance goes on for 5 or 10 minutes, and then it goes quiet and you're just left to go with your thoughts, to go with your meditation. And that goes on for about 30 minutes. And that is when we ask for people's spirit guides to come in and meet with them and start talking to them. And then after that meditation, we bring people gently back into the room. Everyone gets 5 minutes to talk about what happened in their meditation. And if there's any time left over, we pull some cards or something like that, And then we all have tea and biscuits and hugs and stuff, and then we go home. It can be done online, and I'm really looking at doing it online. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to give anyone tea and biscuits, much as I'd love to. But I'm planning that at the moment. There are quite a few people interested. It's just that they're all in different time zones, so I haven't been able to kind of come up with one time when we can do it. But I'm working on it. And the other kind of circle is a closed circle, and that is really recommended for very experienced, people who are fairly well experienced, people who've had a bit of experience. And we do things there like trance mediumship, where we kind of go into a very deep meditation and spirit people actually speak through us. It's absolutely amazing, but it scares the life out of some people. And that's why we do open circle first. So I hope that answers your question. Well, friends, we are coming pretty close to the end now. But speaking of pretty close, oil painter, when you were with Danny, you spoke of a Merlin movie that was pretty close to the truth. Could you tell us which one it is, please? I think it's just called Merlin, or it might be Young Merlin. But it's I can't remember it, oil painter. All right, but I'll mention it pretty soon in the next video. I'll have to go and look it up on YouTube and find out where it is. But I think it's just called Merlin, actually. But I will check. I will find out, and I'll put that up for everyone to see, because it is a great movie. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy watching it again. Last card of the evening, my friend. Last card but one. We're going to do a card from the guy from Jurassic Park. I honestly don't know, oil painter. There was some big stars in it though, so maybe. Okay, card for Aaron's son before we go. Yeah, okay. Hey, right. He's always on the case. Merlin, energy healing. Okay, Aaron's son. Maybe this is why you were drawn to this channel more than anything else. Energy healing is going on with you. I feel that the healing is actually coming into you as well as coming around you. But meditate into it, lean into the healing, Aaron's son. Be open to it, because it's going to build up your own healing abilities, which are already not inconsiderable, but it's going to build them up even more. Okay, so that's Aaron's son. We're going to do one last card now, and this again is for everyone here. At the moment, it's a Moonology card, and this is where we're going with that. Come out wherever you are. Oh, here we go. Full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches conclusion. You know, I seem to keep pulling the same cards out of this deck week after week. We've only had about 4 different cards out of it, but this is a powerful message. Okay, a personal issue reaches resolution, and we're coming up to a full moon. Not sure when that is exactly. Pretty soon. Okay. There's always a full moon within 4 weeks, basically. So even though we're in a waning cycle of the moon now, keep on looking up, keep on looking forward. And as we get into the new moon and that energy starts building over the next 2 or 3 weeks, guys, personal issues are going to be resolving themselves. Okay. That card has come up so much these days. I'm really sure that has got something totally pertinent to say. Anyway, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the support you've given the channel. Hi, Autumn Gypsy, just spotted you there. Sorry I didn't spot you before. Have a great night yourself. April the 11th. Yeah, I'll look it up. Might be the same time in UK. You never know, but I'll have a look. Okay, did everyone see the full moon this week? Yeah, it was beautiful in Pennsylvania. Wonderful. It was beautiful here as well, actually, and very, very powerful too. So, guys, yeah, thanks for everything. If you want to sort of send a little donation my way, look at coffee.com/Andy's Readings. It's down there. It's also, there's a clicky link to it in the description underneath this video. That is always welcome. It's not the cheapest of pursuits doing YouTube, honestly. So that is always really welcome. But guys, you know, thanks for all the lovely energy you send. Thanks very much, all the moderators. If you'd like a reading, my clicky email link is down there in the description too. We will work something out. And guys, thumbs up if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all again in the very near future. So for now, love, light, blessings, and peace.